Night one of WrestleMania 41 didn't
That turn was crazy, man.
the board, but when it came to the main event, business quickly picked up.
Before we get into the video, man, let me know what y'all think. The overall thoughts of night one, man, WrestleMania, man. Overall, it was cool, bro. I felt like a lot of matches was rushed for real. This is my opinion. And some of the matches just felt like it could have been on a Raw or a SmackDown, man. But this main event right here, boy, it boarded up a notch, man. This was a great main event, man. One of the best WWE triple threat matches of all time that I've seen anyway, man. And I've been watching wrestling for years. But yeah, man, this match right here was good. And Seth turning, well, no, I should say Paul Heyman turning. Paul Heyman turning on Punk and Roman to join Seth. It's a shocker, but it's not, bro, because people seen it coming. Well, some people seen it coming anyway, man, especially with the promos, you know, that Seth was cutting on Raw and he was saving Heyman. He wasn't attacking Heyman and stuff when he could have. Let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think that, you know, well, no, I should say, did y'all see the turn coming, man, and Heyman joining Seth? Let me know down in the comment sections below.
As a great match quickly turned into an unforgettable moment in WWE history. In a stunning twist, Paul Heyman betrayed not just one of his closest friends and allies, but two. First, he stabbed CM Punk in the back. Then, in an even bigger shocking twist, he turned on his tribal chief, Roman Reigns, who he clearly loved. But it didn't end there. Heyman
and Seth, he didn't even turn around to see what was going on. That's how you knew it was all a plan.
Heyman standing tall, leaving the WWE Universe stunned. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the real reason why Paul Heyman turned his back on Roman Reigns and CM Punk and why he chose Seth Rollins.
You could tell it was coming.
Instead. Paul Heyman turning on CM Punk is actually pretty straightforward, and honestly, I kind of get it. Throughout this entire storyline, it was clear that Punk was using Heyman as a pawn to mess with Roman Reigns. Sure, it gave Punk a psychological edge, but it also put Heyman in an impossible position, caught between his loyalty to his tribal chief and someone who was clearly manipulating him. If I'm Paul Heyman, why would I stand by someone who's using me to sabotage the very foundation of everything that I've built?
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I didn't think of that.
That is not loyalty, that's betrayal in disguise. So Heyman made the right call to turn on Punk, and truthfully, Punk had it coming. Heyman's favor was supposed to be getting CM Punk a WrestleMania main event, not being stuck in his corner playing mind games against his tribal chief. There's a line and Punk crossed it. Therefore,
I'm gonna just say this, man, then we're gonna get back into the video. I thought that, you know, if Paul Heyman didn't join Seth Rollins, then he was just going to walk out on all three because it was going to be a situation where it was just overwhelming. And he don't know he don't know who to choose, man. He don't know who he want to side with. That's what I thought was going to happen for real if, you know, he didn't join Seth. But those was the only two options that I thought, man. And I'm actually surprised Seth Rollins won for real. I think when I did a predictions video, I think I chose CM Punk to win.
Hit him with a low blow and clearly did not care. That brings us to the bigger question, the harder one to answer. Why would Paul Heyman betray Roman Reigns? At first, it looked like he turned on CM Punk to protect his relationship with the tribal chief, but just minutes later, Heyman stabbed Roman in the back as well. So what happened? Well, it looks like that relationship has been falling apart for a while now. Let's rewind, and over the past year, the Bloodline would treat Heyman more like a punching bag than a trusted advisor when Roman lost his belt and went away for a little bit. While Roman sat at home, the group...
Right, facts. That's facts.
And it got so bad that it led to a beatdown. For example, there was that time that Solo Sikoa attacked him because
Roman was nowhere to be found at that point.
His tribal chief. And that right there, taking a beating like that is real loyalty. Heyman took that beating rather than betraying Roman Reigns and saying that there's a different tribal chief. That's respect. And yet Roman was not there to help him out. Why would he sit around at home knowing that they had his wise men stressed out? And then they
Let me ask y'all this as well, man. Overall, like for the story, like, you know, after WrestleMania, How do y'all feel like this Seth and Paul Heyman relationship is going to play out, man? It's going to be interesting because there's so many ways that it could go. I see some people saying that Seth don't need Heyman, which he don't. But having Paul Heyman by your side, man, it's just gonna raise questions. What's next? Why? All this stuff going into Monday Night Raw, man. A lot of people say it don't make sense, though. What do y'all think?
Beat him up. That is not a loyal tribal chief. Heyman then brought in CM Punk to help Roman's team at War Games, a move to protect Roman. But instead of showing gratitude, Roman gave Heyman suspicion, distrust, and even put his hands on him during this build-up to WrestleMania.
I forgot he shoved Heyman.
Loyalty, maybe he did not deserve it anymore. Or maybe Heyman is just being Paul Heyman. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. Roman's time at the top might be running out, and if there's one thing we know about Paul Heyman, it's that he always backs a winner. He jumped from Brock Lesnar to Roman Reigns because he saw the future, and now the future might be Seth Rollins, the hottest name in wrestling after.
The thing with Seth being the future, like Seth been there for a long time now, so I really wouldn't call Seth the future of the WWE. I mean, Seth not old, but he not that young, and you know he got a problem with injuries. But I really wouldn't call Seth the future of the WWE. But yeah, he a great wrestler though. Don't get me wrong.
That WrestleMania moment.
But I just feel like he been there for a while. So,
but damn, he is one smart SOB.
Why did he choose Seth?
So why would Paul Heyman choose to align with Seth Rollins of all people? Well, I think there's more to the story than meets the eye. This wasn't just about Heyman randomly switching sides. This moment feels like a setup, something that connects directly to Night 2 of WrestleMania. Because I don't think that Paul Heyman simply chose Seth Rollins. I think The Rock chose Seth Rollins. Let's look at all the clues. Over the last few weeks, Rollins has been dropping hints that could be...
I've seen people talking about this, bro. About him dressing like The Rock on SmackDown.
The bold, flashy outfits, they're reminiscent of The Rock's iconic style, and it's hard to believe.
Yep, and the flamethrower.
A coincidence. It was as if Seth was signaling something bigger is coming soon. And then there's Paul Heyman, because during a segment a few months ago, he flashed that same hand gesture that The Rock used at Bad Blood, which could be a subtle but deliberate nod. It wasn't random, it was foreshadowing. For weeks, most of us assumed...
I'm going to just say this, man. I believe that all of this is going to lead into Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania 42, man. That's just my prediction.
Rhodes, or maybe even Randy, who would join and be recruited to stand beside John Cena and The Rock. But tonight, that theory got flipped on its head.
I would have liked it for it to be Orton, man, instead of Seth, for real.
Heyman being handpicked, not by accident, not out of desperation, but as part of a calculated plan, a long-term vision. This wasn't about loyalty or betrayal for the sake of it. It was about aligning with power, aligning with the future, and maybe, just maybe, creating a new dominant force in the WWE. Rollins and Heyman weren't just standing tall at the end of night one. They were officially initiated into something bigger, something that's going to shake up night two and maybe even shake up the entire landscape of WWE for a long time to come.
That's facts, though. That's facts.
But now we've got to ask the next big question. Why would Seth Rollins agree to join Paul Heyman and maybe potentially even The Rock and John Cena? Because on the surface, it makes no sense. This goes against everything Seth has stood for over the last few years. He's been the loudest voice pushing back against the part-timers. He's fought the system, rejected the old guard, and championed the future of WWE. He's been the workhorse, the guy who always showed up, who carried the brand when others didn't. So why throw all that away now? The truth is, Seth Rollins is fed up, and honestly, you can't really blame him. Look at his track record.
So do y'all think that Seth is going to help Cena win tonight, man? I can't wait for the night, bro. I believe that tonight is going to be better overall than night one was yesterday, for real. Happy Easter, by the way, to everybody, man. But yeah, do y'all think that Seth is going to help Cena win tonight, or do y'all think he's going to play a part in it, for real? I wouldn't be surprised if he do, man, but I feel like Cena is going to win regardless, bro.
Earning every inch. Meanwhile,
all right, we got Ed right here, bro. But yeah, man, night two gonna be crazy, bro, and I'm ready. I'm ready to skip this.
While guys like Roman Reigns coasted through a historic title reign built on constant interference and cheating, and he barely showed up half the time, and nobody blinked an eye. Seth warned everybody about CM Punk. He called him a cancer to the locker room, and he was mocked for it, and no one listened. Then when Seth lost his world championship, all you heard were crickets. No outrage, no sympathy, no respect. This man gave his everything to WWE, and in return, he got laughed at, ignored, and overlooked. And at some point, that starts to break a person, and maybe just like John Cena, Seth Rollins hit that point. The point where trying to be a good guy just isn't worth it anymore, because while Rollins was out there putting on classics every week, others climbing to the top with politics and handouts, as for Seth, he was left to fight alone. So when The Rock and John Cena, two of the most powerful forces in WWE history, approached him with a seat at the table with the backing of Paul Heyman, maybe that was one offer that he could not refuse. Not because he wanted to sell out, but because he was tired of being left out.
So this is the question I have for y'all, bro. Do y'all think that Seth is going to turn heel, or he gonna still be or he gonna be like more like a tweener for real, like, you know, babyface and heel? But me personally, I think that Seth should go heel, man, because I think he's better as a heel. And I wonder if they're gonna change his theme, because, you know, his theme is basically like babyface. People sang along with his theme song, so I don't know if they're still gonna want to do that, you know, with him being a heel. But we'll just have to wait and see.
This is clearly a heel turn, but this is also the man who's been pushed too far for far too
long. So he think it's a heel turn.
Seth Rollins did not betray us. He just stopped betraying himself. And the last thing in this video is what happens tomorrow. Well, this is how I see it playing out. This video is when I thought that Randy Orton was going to be the one who turns heel. So
I reacted to that video too.
Just think about Seth Rollins and not Randy Orton. And this is how I see it going down. WrestleMania 41 is the main event. You have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. The match is reaching its climax when, boom, the referee gets knocked out.
Of course.
One of those moments. Chaos ensues, and that is when The Rock storms down to the ring, ready to tip the scales in Cena's favor. But before he can strike, that's when Randy Orton rushes in, seemingly coming to Cody's aid. The crowd erupts as Orton takes the fight to The Rock, trying to even the odds. For a moment, it does look like Cody has the backup, but then Cena and The Rock overpower Orton, beating him down as well. The numbers game is just too much. Just when it seems hopeless,
that pop is going to be crazy, bro.
And Stone Cold
I believe that Stone Cold is definitely going to be at WrestleMania this year. I know a lot of people wanted him there last year for the Bloodlines rules with Cody versus Roman, but I think that, well, he was at the Hall of Fame, which was in Vegas, and people been seeing him all around Vegas, so I wouldn't be surprised if this happened, man. That's going to be lit.
Just down to the ring. The energy in the arena is hitting a fever pitch. Inside the squared circle, you've got the four biggest icons in WWE history. You have Austin, Rock, Cena, and Cody all staring down at each other. The tension is electric, and then boom, Austin hits a stunner on The Rock. The crowd explodes, but before Austin can celebrate, then that's when we see a low blow from John Cena. The cheers quickly turn to boos as the Texas Rattlesnake drops to his knees in pain. And Cody takes advantage. He grabs Cena, and we see a crossroads. The championship is within reach. He scrambles for the cover, but before he can even think about pinning John Cena, that is when we see an RKO out of nowhere. The crowd is stunned. Cody lays motionless on the mat as Orton stands over him, his expression cold and calculated. Gas fill up the arena as fans come to grips with the ultimate betrayal. Cena crawls over, drapes an arm over Cody's lifeless body. 1, 2,
all right, man, we're going to end it right there, bro. Wins. All right, man, to get my final thoughts, you know, in this video, man, I believe that Seth will play a part into Cena winning the championship, man. I really do. And I also think that Seth, now I could be, you know, thinking too far ahead when I say this, but I also think that Seth eventually is going to beat Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, man. I really do. Like, but I could be wrong, man. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about the video down in the comment sections below, man. Also, let me know if y'all ready for night 2. Who y'all predictions, who y'all think going to win, man? Let me know down in the comment sections below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff. I'm out. Peace. Y'all have a blessed day.